Take a Rambam in front of you. The Rambam Sefer Kedusha Hilchot Ma'achalot HaSulayot. This week is Perashat Shemini. All the kosher, non-kosher animal, birds, fish, everything here. Last night we touched that to the Rambam. How about human flesh? Human flesh is non-kosher. It doesn't say in the Chumash everywhere. Let's see what the Rambam says in Perek Bet Hilchot Ma'achalot HaSulayot. The reason we're looking in is because we're going to go through a tshuva that Chacham Etzion Abashol wrote to Rabbi Yosef about 50 years ago about taking organs from a mat. Specifically, he was talking about taking a cornea. So look a second. Perek Bet Halacha Gimel. Sefer Kedusha Hilchot Ma'achalot HaSulayot Perek Bet Halacha Gimel. Says the Rambam, Ha'adam, human flesh, after Adam Arishon was created, the Pasuk says, Vayehi Ha'adam leNefesh Chaya. Nefesh Chaya, a living being. Eino bichlal minei Chaya ba'alat parsa. But the title Chaya does not mean that we human beings are part of the animal kingdom. Lefichach eino belo ta'aseh. If someone would have to eat human flesh, it's not over a lo ta'aseh as he is eating pork or non-kosher. והאוכל מבשר אדם או מחלבו בין מן החי ובין מן המת, אינו לוקה, אבל אסור הוא בעשה. The Rambam says there's no malkot as we get 39 lashes for non-kosher meat, but it's asur be'isur aseh. Remember, isur aseh is a unique type of isur. Isur aseh. Normally aseh is a lot aseh. Don't eat. Don't desecrate Shabbat. Don't wear shatnez. This is called isur aseh. What does it mean? Look what he says.
Seems the same, but it isn't, obviously.
The difference is 39 lashes. Sha'arei, mana katuv. The pasuk is listing in this week's parasha, Shivat minei chaya, 7 types of animals that are kosher. Ve'amar ba'em, and it says by them, Zot hachaya asher tuchlu. Those, the ones that are listed, are the kosher ones. Ha kol shehu chutz mem, anything but except those, lo tochelu. This is the lav haba michlal aseh. Any no that you learn out from a yes is listed as aseh. This is the Rambam's opinion.
The fact that he uses the word chaya for Adam is included in there in the aseh.
Either that or nefesh chaya means a living being.
You say that we are allowed to eat human flesh? What else?
It's a no with a capital N. Can you make a big N? The question is always, why is it asur? The reason why the Rambam has to say it is if a Jew has a choice. In the Holocaust, in Lodz, there was a choice between pork or human flesh. What should you decide?
Human flesh, obviously, based on the
We should never, ever, chas v'shalom, ever have it. No, but this is what the Rambam says it's asur. Not be isur lav, but isur aseh, which means because the penalty, as he says, is less, Hashem yishmerenu, if you have to do A or B.
We look at the severity of the crime based on the punishment. The punishment is just an indication of how severe it is.
This is the only tool we have to measure.
Well, what is the issue about not violating the dead body?
Let me switch it, yeah?
All right. I'm next to the rabbi this other term.
No, I'll give you.
No, that's fine.
One of these.
What
It's a different chair.
Oh.
Let me switch it.
We have the same. Chabar al-Azman.
All right.
Now look now, turn the page. Please remember that the Magid Mishneh on the top right, is the main commentator, the earliest. So he says, this is the Rambam's opinion. Look at my finger. Change. Turn the page. Look here. On the right side of the Magid Mishneh. It says, Ve'arav, you see the first word in the line is Rabbeinu. Ve'arav Rabbi Avraham disagrees. Then, V'zeh da'at HaRamban ve'Arashba. And see, this is a good example. The Rambam is a heavyweight, but the Ramban and the Rashba together are on the same level. And they disagree strongly. She'ein, here it is Joseph, She'ein bebasar ha'adam isur klal min haTorah. It is.
Wow.
It says if you eat human flesh, it's not asur min haTorah. Now that we can start to sell it. But Ela, שהרמב"ן כתב שהישראל שמת בשרו אסור אף בהנאה מן התורה. There's another issue. Being a dead body, it's asur בהנאה. So he's talking about dead people.
Is that alive or that Jewish body, Rabbi? Or what if it's a boy?
For now we're talking about
a situation where a plane crashed on the mountain.
Right.
Athletes.
Every one of the members is scared.
The book was called Alive. Yeah, the book was called Alive, yeah. But Rabbi, here you mentioned the Jewish. If it was a boy, is it a different...
we're definitely going to discuss this. Yes. He says שהישראל שמת בשרו אסור אף בהנאה מן התורה. Human body is asur בהנאה. Yes. Asur בהנאה is like. You have a cheeseburger, regardless if you eat or not, you cannot profit. It's asur בהנאה. Yes. So if someone is eating human flesh, it is the issue is not that the flesh is not kosher, but met is a met is a
So this is a love of malchut.
What?
So he says, daughter, so it's a love of malchut. That's the question that I was going to ask you because you mentioned cornea before. We're not eating the cornea, but we're getting hana from the cornea.
Correct.
So that's why you mentioned cornea earlier.
So everyone,
not eating the cornea.
So everyone, Chacham Ben Sion, Chacham Muvadia, when they talk about the cornea, in a minute you will see.
But on the cornea or all the organs?
No. When this was written, Tavshin Yutet, which is about 50 years ago, the tshuva specifically was about the cornea. Okay, let's see now how Chacham Muvadia.
About that time, my brother-in-law needed a cornea transplant. And they said at the time Rabbi Feinstein approved it. There was a question, should she get it or not get it? He says, maybe 50 years ago when he had the cornea transplant, one of the first ones.
See, so Chacham Ben Sion, it's interesting that Chacham Ben Sion Abba Shaul writes to Chacham Muvadia. I was asked, this is what I answered. I would like to get your approval to what I wrote. So we would follow. So the first point that he starts, Aleinu levaer, we have to explain din isur hana'ah min ha'met u'min ha'torah u'mid'Rabbanan. This is how it starts right away. The minute it says asur min ha'torah, it's very difficult to find any lenience except to save a life, this, that, but a regular cornea is just to improve your eyesight, yes. But if it's a isur d'Rabbanan, it's much easier because for choleh, etc., then in addition to what Rani mentioned before, if it's a non-Jew, it would be a isur d'Rabbanan to begin with.
To a lesser degree.
So we cannot go, Chabal, I thought that we have more copies in mind. I thought we had more, we have only one copy. So let me, so this is the Gemarot we have. Let's start from it. It's an interesting Gemarot. Let's take the Sanhedrin. We have Sanhedrin here.
But if they just said it was an Isur Hana'ah, so how is it not Midoraisa? I'm not sure I understand.
This is the rule. The rule is, the Gemara says that you learn out from a glav ufa. You learn from a glav ufa that it's asur b'hana'ah. So most Rishonim, except Tosafot and Zvachim, say it's the Rabbanan. In a minute, we'll see in a minute.
Okay.
And remember, we're just picking pieces just to open the Gemara, Sanhedrin, Mem Zayin Amud Bet, Sanhedrin, Mem Zayin, 47b. Okay, it's Gemara talks over there about graves, about burying. Okay. Look at my finger. Look at which place in the page it is. The first word in the line. It's approximately 1/3 in the page. The first word in the line is the law. You see the law? Okay. So go Kivrei the Rav. You see the oh, you have a Gemara. Kivrei the Rav, the grave of Rav. Listen to this. Havu shakle minei afra leishta bat yoma. People used to take soil from the grave of Rav. For certain, this is ishta bat yoma means high food. Whatever. Question now, you cannot
What is Ishta Bat Yoma? Ishata Bat Yoma?
Ishta is the esh.
I know that, right?
Yoma means high fever for a day. Okay. Atu, Amrul Eli Shmuel. People came to ask Shmuel, is it okay to benefit? Basically, you're benefiting from the grave. Yes?
But it's just dirt.
Soil.
Or are we saying that perhaps the corpse has some,
Amar lehu, Shmuel answered, Yaot Avdim, it's okay. Why? Karka Olami. The land can never become a soup. Let's say if Goyim are bowing to a mountain, the mountain never becomes a soup. If it's an idol, the idol becomes a soup. Right? If a non-Jew bows down to his own cow, me and you cannot eat the cow, even if the cow was slaughtered. Right? If he bows down to mine, he has no right to make mine a soup. But if he bows to his, yes. So the rule is anything more can become a soup. It says the kever, the soil in the kever is part of the part of the land.
The soil on the kevet, is it the rabbis or is it everybody's?
Neither the rabbis nor everyone. It's a grave. But the point is, it's a regular soil from the land. You dug it from the ground and you take it. V'karka olam einan ne'eseret. Dichtiv, an interesting pasuk in Sefer Melachim. Vayashlechet afara, they burned the idols. Al kever bnei adam. Makir, the pasuk is comparing human graves to avodah zara. Ma kever, yes. Ma avodat kochavim b'mechubar u'bitzera. If you bow down to a mountain, the mountain doesn't become a soul. You bow down to a boulder while it's still attached to the mountain, it doesn't become a soul. If the boulder was separated, then people are worshipping it, then it's a movable item. Dichtiv, how do we know that a mountain or a soil cannot become a soul? Dichtiv, asher atem yorshim otam et Eloheim al ha'arim haramim. You are inheriting the land and the idols that people are using on top of mountains. If the idols are on top of the mountains, are assumed. People, some used to take soil from the grave of Rav, somehow for medicine. So they ask Shmuel, people are benefiting from the med, so to say. Shmuel says it's not a problem, the soil never becomes a soup, the same. Hachanami, v'mechubar lo mitzvah. So Shmuel says, if your question is mutar or asur, it's mutar, okay? The question we discuss now is, Chacham ben Zion, Tafshin Yutet, over 50 years ago, wrote the first teshuvah about using the cornea. Since you take it from the met is asur be'ana'ah. We started by looking at the Magid Mishneh, Big the Ramban. It's a tremendous machloket in the Rishonim, but the bottom line is the Rov Rishonim say hana'ah for the met is asur in the Torah. So the question is,
so far.
we'll come 10 times back to the non-Jew. Meantime, we're starting with asur and for the met, asur in the Torah. Now, it says Chacham Ben Zion, he says like this. One of the reasons he wants to say that maybe it'll be mutar is every surah Hana'a is a surah only kederech Hana'a. Shelo kederech Hana'a. For instance, some people that have to eat on Yom Kippur, be'emet, if they have to eat and they have to make a bracha and it's fine. But some people feel, this is an inner guilt. Some people are saying, no, I can't eat that. You're suggesting to them, put a lot of something very sharp. Let's say, take a spice that makes it unedible, right? Put it on the bread. By what does it become mutar? That's a reason it's called shelo kederech Hana'a. Every time you benefit from an item, not the normal way, right? So he says, I'm reading you what the Ginat Vradim, I happen to have it in the house. It was one of the greatest rabbis in Egypt about 300 years ago. Everyone takes it very seriously. I mean, everyone. He wants to say that Shelo kederech Hana'a by Emet is asur. Why? What is the source that Shelo kederech Hana'a is mutar? If the Torah is using the word "do not eat," eating means normally. If I put a lot of salt, a lot of spice, and it's tasteless for me, Shelo kederech Hana'a. Says since the issue to benefit from a met, you learn out from Eglah Rufa. By Eglah Rufa, the word achila is not mentioned. So the Ginat Vradim, remember, Be'emet Gadol Atzum מאוד, says asur. The Radbaz says, Radbaz was a rabbi in Egypt 400 years ago, he says, Shelo kederech Hana'a min haTorah mutar. So he brings a beautiful raya from the Gemara we just, so listen to that, I'm reading you how it says. Benefiting from the soil of a grain is definitely Shelo kederech Hana'a, correct? Normally, how do you benefit from soil?
You plant
You plant. Just taking it and mixing it with the medicine and making medicine is not the normal way. Why is Shmuel saying it's mutar? Because soil can never become a soil. Why don't you say it's Shelo kederech Hana'a? If benefiting from a met, Shelo kederech Hana'a is mutar, you should have said simply, of course it's mutar. Even if the soil normally should become a soil. So this is one of the proofs, yes? It's Shelo kederech Hana'a. Remember, when they start the issue, when they start to discuss the topic is asur min haTorah. Assume now it's mutar min haTorah. Now, taking the cornea out is considered kederech Hana'a or Shelo kederech Hana'a. You cannot benefit from a met. You cannot benefit from a met. Taking, extracting. You can say yes because I'm
Using it as a gain or benefit.
Yeah, but this is not the ana'ah that you take. You get.
There's no use. There's no use.
What? See, he's saying this is a good svara. He said there's no derech Hana'a, mama.
There's no use.
No. Let's say 2 weeks ago they had a blood right in Bush. Just to show you, but the guy was a new guy, and I tell him I always give him the left hand. Good thing. I took my left hand. I also show you. I have 2 veins. One goes like this, one like this. I told him in the 50 years I'm taking from this. But of course, as a new guy, he has to show you he knows better. He says this vein looks better.
You do it twice.
15 minutes into it, he says to me, the blood doesn't come because the superior says, why did you use this? This is the one. No. I'm saying using it. What happened if we need the blood?
The math?
I meant, exactly.
Same question. What was derech Hana'a?
No,
What
but
is the classic derech Hana'a b'met?
no.
What do you mean? Wasn't
No.
It's not meant. The guy's not dead.
No. I'm saying, let's say Chas v'Shalom, someone dies. Fresh is still warm. He's dead. Can we take 5 pints of blood out of it? Taking a 1 pint for me is 1/16 for what my body contains.
It's the same question.
He is saying, if Shelo kederech Hana'a is mutar min haTorah, that's simply what's your
Hana'a means exactly, isn't it?
no, this is the point.
Benefit the normal.
Benefit the normal way. Again, taking a piece of cake and taking a slice of bread and Yom Kippur and putting a lot of salt on it, assuming the salt doesn't affect you, makes the achila shelo b'derech
But you're
hana.
still benefiting, you are.
But the answer is it's not assuming that Torah.
Let's take
The bread.
You're ruining the bread. This is the point. Achila. The reason we take cake in the morning, why? Is because of the sugar, correct? The reason we're taking the regular bagels and not the whole wheat is because it tastes better, yes? Shelo kederech means if you're ruining the taste. Benefiting from food is enjoying it the
But
way.
you're still benefiting it.
Yeah, but
The
still the
answer
normal
is
way.
it's asur, but
Let's
midirabanan.
assume you had a banana Kippur, now you pour salt on it. It's
No,
like,
but this is exactly.
Or, Rabbi, and a body part, a skin graft. Skin, somebody takes
So now-
take a piece of skin off of it to use it to,
Right.
somebody had to burn it, take that skin, that's, would be the normal
See,
data, so
now here's-
skin is skin.
So another question that Chacham Betzion is discussing, I'm asking you, us, we're not in the medical field, how would you relate to the cornea of the eye? Is it like skin or flesh? זו שאלה מעניינת מאוד, כן? The cornea of the eye, you realize?
יש
Is
הבדל.
it a surface or an organ?
Oh. See, he's asking good. Is there a difference between skin or flesh? Some Rishonim say the skin of the mat is asur only midirabanan. It is. And why? Tshma, lama.
Was
Why?
it a coating, so to speak,
Why?
as opposed
No,
to an
no, this is the source that the flesh of a human being is asur b'anah. We learn how it's from the korban. לא משנה, גזירה שווה. By a korban, the skin is never part of the korban. זה מאוד יפה, שומע? Yes. If we would relate to the cornea, not as a flesh, then we have
As a skin.
another way out. But חכם
Wait,
עובדיה,
what's the Gezer HaShava?
לא משנה, מה זה
How you got
משנה?
to
No, it's not the way that without the Gezer HaShava, I might have thought that the flesh of a person is
מותר
mutar.
בהנאה. We say,
Hana'ah.
Sam,
What
you missed
hana'ah?
5 minutes today. No, this is, Rambam says, if you eat human flesh, it's Isur Aseh, not you ate non-kosher, it's Isur Aseh. The Torah says those are the 7 kosher animals, those are the good ones.
It's not on the list, it's.
But a human flesh is not listed as non-kosher animal like the animal kingdom. Comes the Ramban and the Rashba here, I'll read it for you. It's here.
From the Isur of unkosher.
תשמע, וזה דעת הרמב"ן והרשב"א סם, שאין בבשר האדם איסור כלל מן התורה.
Mutar.
מותר, however, says the רמב"ן, אבל אסור בהנאה מן התורה. The איסור is not eating non-kosher flesh, you're benefiting from the meat, which is אסור בהנאה. Understand?
No, what about when he's alive?
Okay, he says,
Don't bring me
a guy
this.
lost a limb. According to them, במותר.
Oh, that's just giving kidney, we said
Oh,
it's mutar.
what?
As long as you don't put yourself in danger, it's mutar.
Mutar
Kidney
behana'ah.
מותר בהנאה. הם אומרים ש-human flesh is human, human is a new species, it's not part of the animal kingdom. אתה מבין מה שה... The Rambam says, it's not asur, the same asur as a rabbit or as pork, but it's asur aseh, כך כתוב ברמב"ם. רמב"ן רשב"א אומרים מה נכון, אומרים זה מותר, but it's asur בהנאה. All the teshuvot begin with this Ramban. Benefiting from the dead is Isur Hana. So now we are trying to question, A, maybe it's Shelo Kederech Hana, or maybe the cornea is not considered part of the flesh. It's interesting
Like a
medically,
covering.
how would you define it?
But usually a cover doesn't have any other function than a cover, but in this case, the cornea has a function. As a function, it's an organ in a way. So one could argue it's an organ.
Cover is
So
weak argument.
Well, skin doesn't have a function, of course it has a function.
no, it doesn't function, it's only a protector.
Yeah.
See, this is what he's saying. Function means every vein, every piece of flesh that you have, the skin is only a protector. No, it's a fact, The skin doesn't add anything to it. But if the skin is damaged,
No, but it regulates the temperature of the body, sweat.
regulates only because it protects, because it's
can't get a suntan without it.
He said it's something. Then you get vitamin K.
No, but, I mean, you can see the argument. Is it a function? Is it an organ? Or is it just the cover?
Now, another question, this was פרק גדול, זה באמת שני גאונים, but if you look at the original תשובה, חכם, באמת we should spend a week to go through this מבהיר. He says like
Is there a way, is there a way that if you have chametz sha'avar alav Pesach, if you put dirt on it, you could eat that, and you could have it, but there are.
You have to visit the psychiatrist before, but if you do, you're right. You know, you're right.
Because I'm always thinking Pesach is so strict, that's why I'm
Oh, this is, I know, I read,
Yeah, Hametz on
No,
Pesach.
no, I
Put dirt
read-
on it, it's no
I
longer-
read many times, religious young men were drafted to the Russian army or the Polish army in Europe, yes? They were forced to eat the meat. Many of them put a lot of black pepper on it to make it tasteless. They had to eat, otherwise it would be
if you go to somebody's house, so the wife isn't a good cook.
By the way, the fact is, some black women in the South eat dirt. That's part of their culture. They eat dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women only?
Women eat dirt. It's the calcium. I don't know what, but don't try this at home. But I've read about it. They eat dirt.
Now the Gemara wants to תשמע דבר מאוד מעניין. Says חכם בן ציון, perhaps it's mutar, listen why. Because the Gemara says in Psachim, kol mar'eh, listen good, kol, voice, I'm passing the Beit HaMikdash. The Leviim are singing now the song. Is it mutar to me or asur to me? They are doing it for the Korban. Am I benefiting or not? Mar'eh. I'm looking on a Beit HaMikdash and I'm enjoying it. V'reach. The Gemara says that every time they offer the Ketoret, everyone in Yerushalayim, the bride in Yerushalayim didn't have to put makeup because the aroma of the Ketoret was so strong.
Well,
Asur or mutar?
that's the proof that's mutar.
Oh, so it says mutar. So says Chacham.
Why shouldn't it be mutar? Wait, why shouldn't it be?
Says Chacham ben Zion, so taking the cornea is giving me what? The ability to see it, sight. It says maybe sight.
Sight, smell, those things
Well,
don't count.
it's affair. To put it together, you know?
Good proof.
So it says no, it's not the same.
Because the smell, you can't control it.
No,
right.
Smell comes
Okay,
out.
no, that's for
Smell
sure.
doesn't have a substance. It has
that-
no substance.
That's
So
for sure.
take a hearing, take a piece of your ear and do the ear as an example.
So he says, it's interesting that we don't have a bracha in the morning for him. Anyway, he wants to say that the Gemara is talking, I'm walking in Yerushalayim and I'm looking
Oh,
I'm
It's
looking
your
at
intent.
everywhere. He says, it's not my intent. The Gemara is talking about, I'm a citizen of Yerushalayim. There is good smell. I'm not going to get the smell. It says here, I mean, יפה מאוד.
You could say the same thing with your Tokela shear also. I mean, you're walking by and you're hearing the sound of the shofar also.
This is why the question of mitzvot tzrichot kavana or not are very serious. Now this question, they're both, is a perek gadol. In Egypt, 500 years ago, there was a big business. People used to buy cadabras of metim that were preserved. It looked exactly like in the cadavers, and people believe that if you eat from it and you mix it, there's medical beneficial.
Wow. It's not true.
Kaka.
Give him up, Sam.
Some
He did, that's what he's trying
some
to give
people
up.
believe that if you go to sleep, you need to sleep. I mean, so this them call them as a mumia.
Sleep with the dead.
No, in
the
the
mummy.
cadaver. Whatever people believe. So the Ginat Veradim, the first one to talk about it is about 350 years ago. This is how it starts. Are we benefiting from a med or not? And he says, here it is, if you eat from the, I mean, I feel like throwing up, if you eat from it, it's definitely Shulok Derech Hana. It is, why? Because how did they preserve it? 2,000, 4,000
Chemicals.
Yeah, all the chemicals already ruined. This is
No
how
different than our food today. Don't worry about it.
you never know what
But
they.
we still don't, we didn't define what is derech hana'ah.
נכון. No, but so he is noter Chacham Ben Zion to say that this is the Hana. Using the cornea, you're using it exactly for what cornea was made. He says, taking the flesh, it was preserved with medicine.
Yes, certainly, no one had ever.
Human flesh is not made to be consumed. But he said the cornea is made to improve our eyesight, yes.
Also, one could say with new science, cornea's use became now double use. Use that is the function, and then it's became now a derech in a way. People use corneas to replace other
So
things.
now, remember, the chokhmah of this tshuva is
Rabbi,
they're breaking it. Half a second. They're breaking fresh ground. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question. When I did an implant,
Yes.
I think today, a tooth implant.
Yes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I did a tooth implant, and in where they open your gum under your what the tooth was, and they put a packing in there. At one point, they were putting bone from different
Right.
people in.
He's
Now, I'm a
right.
Kohen. So
Right.
it turns out they did, when I did my implant, they did not. They used some synthetic or something or other. But what would happen, hypothetically, they'd given me from a donkey, from another person,
But this is he mentions it from the Rav Chida. He used to do something with the teeth. He used to grind them, and again, this is definitely shalok derech. This is definitely. So look now in Gemara Sota. Look now in Gemara Sota.
Still do that today.
What?
They
Rav Gimal Amud Bet.
they do grind the bone.
This is what they used to. Of course.
But is it from an animal or is it a person?
Look a second. Sota. Mem Gimal Amud Bet. Rani, you have to Gemara in front of you. I brought few. There, we had two at least, right?
I took 2 out.
Two out. Okay, so take the Sota. Have them Gimal Amud Bet. Right? The beauty of this teshuvah is how you start from scratch. This is not. I mean, they're all using the Mem Gimal Amud Bet. Mem 43B. I'm looking at this. So. This is a very interesting Look a second. Well, okay, fine. No, look a second at my finger. Look at my finger. You see approximately what it is. The first word in the line is Ve'amar Rabbi Avar. You see the word Rabbi Avar. Same, right? That was his better.
Third way down.
Yeah. You look again. It's right here. In the middle of the line. Rabbi. Right here. Ve'amar Rabbi Avar. Listen to a case. No, but the beauty of the tshuva is to see how you go to other areas of halacha and you are trying to learn basic rules. Listen to this. A tree that you planted in your backyard, even a chutz la'aretz, a fruit tree, the first 3 years the fruit cannot be used. Remember, the issur of orla is only the fruit, not the tree, not the branches, yes? Not the branches. So listen to this.
Right?
What? Even chutz la'aretz. This is a if you don't know בחוץ לארץ, ספק is מותר. בארץ, אפילו ספק אסור בחוץ לארץ. ילדה, a young tree that you grafted into an old tree. Interesting question here. The young tree is the second year. The fruit would be asur be'isur ola. You're grafting it now into an old tree. Does the old tree become asur or not? Says the Gemara. Batla, no, disintegrates. The same, remember the concept. The same as a little bit of milk.
The newness is bad luck.
No,
No, gets absorbed
the
by the
Zekana is existing tree. You're grafting.
You follow the tree, you follow the.
follow
Oh, it's the roots. Okay, so it went the other way.
So ילדה שסיבכה בזקנה, בטלה. בטלה ילדה בזקנה, ואין בה דין עורלה. Good, ואין בה דין עורלה. Says Chacham Ben Zion, I'm taking the cornea and I am implanting it in a living body.
It becomes the Jewish body.
It becomes part of your body.
Gets
The Tomera
absorbed, so to
said
speak.
before you.
So nothing to do with functionality.
It doesn't help us, Asur B'Hana'ah, the man.
So he says the Isur Hana'ah is only the minute the man starts to benefit from it.
Since it's
When the
absorbed.
doctor is holding it now, it's not benefit. When do you really benefit?
When you put it
When you
in.
wake up.
So
He
it's
says
part of
when
his
he
body.
wakes up, it's already
It's
part
already
of his
backed out.
body.
It's already backed out.
It's מאוד מעניין.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like it. Why? No. This is only this is being used very often today. When you mix sperm of Jew and non-Jew, this Mishnah is today very popular. But what happened if the young tree isn't good now? The young tree that I'm grafting into the hole, there's already grapes on it. As grapes. I told you before, if I'm taking the young tree,
The limb, but not
there are
fruit.
no grapes on
fruits
it.
yet.
I'm grafting it. Now grapes are growing in the new one, mutar. If the young one had fruit on it,
What you grafted it.
what you fed, even though the tree becomes batel, but the fruit is the fruit of the young
In this
one.
case, cornea
Just
might
the
be
fruit.
like fruit.
So he
Cornea
says,
only has some
it's beautiful here.
vitality.
He
of
says the
viability.
cornea is like the fruit, you understand? When what you take is a tree in a tree to become batel.
Also, I was going to say, with the patient is unconscious, but the patient has the ability to see, but cognitively doesn't see it. But the second it's installed, it has the ability to function. So cognitively, there's no bearing. The point is, the tree has.
Ani Agi, the fruit is vision. Fruit is sight.
Okay,
Not the cornea is the branch.
There what he said is interesting. But
No,
the
but
ephemeral-
inherently the branch
but it's
brings the sight.
it's
Inherently,
interesting.
Rabbi, what about gum grafting?
The fruit was there, the sight wasn't there.
No, but the gum grafting is the same type of a question. If you're taking it from a dead body, it's exactly the same question. Remember, this is printed 50 years ago. This is groundbreaking with all these questions, yes?
But it's alive long enough to work. Just like an organ transplant, a patient is dead, but the liver is still good, the kidney's still good, even though the patient is dead. There's a certain viability beyond the actual brain dead, so to speak.
Okay, so now, Rani, from the beginning.
Yeah, but your terms, Ronnie, of living means it's moving. It's a muscle. It's a muscle. I don't know what living is really. Does it have a soul? Does it have a life? I don't know what living is.
We have to define exactly what is a human flesh. Is the skin included or not? Is the cornea like flesh or now? Rani, from the beginning is saying, is the issue the same by a Jew and non-Jew? So after he discusses here, this is a page and a half, this is Chacham Ben Zion, says, עכשיו, okay, he says, האם זה אסור גם באמת של גוי או לא? So as always, he says, דעת מרן ביורה דעה. This is in Bet Yosef, not in Shulchan Aruch. The בין מת עקום, בין מת ישראל, אסורים בהנאה. Hear this? See, I mean, I'm throwing it, he's not talking about it. You're going to Einstein Medical Center, all the cadavers there, cadavers of Goyim. That volunteer the body. Yeah? You are learning to become a doctor by operating. Are you a nehne min hamet or not? The truth is, you are not nehne min hamet. You realize you are not taking anything away. You are
using it,
dissecting the body. You are learning from the body. So, again,
You are benefiting, Rabbi. Otherwise, you cannot graduate.
no, but it's the same question you had before. The main benefiting is not by the results. It's the way you do it. Body, a
It's like
body.
the knowledge is like a smell of the Yavlei
לא, תחשוב, זה דבר אמיתי. I mean, it's very sensitive. What do you mean if you think about it? Of course you are right that the results are benefit. If we established before that the issue to benefit is only the normal way, yes? The human body is not a machine to operate. By the way, in Aisha Medical Center, because they want to attract Kohanim to go to the medical school, now they have a 3D. They have a 3D body. It's not.
That works. Wow, it's amazing. You could graduate.
A doctor once showed me when I was with my father, he had to have his aorta and his abdomen needed to have a stent in it. He showed us a video. You were like inside the body.
Part of what
He showed us a video. He said, "Let me show you how I'm going to do it." He actually was like,
Your son could be a doctor.
Ramban used to work, Ramban said Israel though, right?
Ramban openly said.
Yeah, but here.
So this is what he says.
He's making this.
He says the bet yourself in two. Says it's assumed the same as a Jew, but this is really the only door that gives them Ulam Dat Rov HaRishonim, most of the brothers. Ulam Dat Rov HaRishonim, שאין איסור הנאה באמת גוי.
So one.
Most commentators say, okay, okay.
He's in the dump.
Here, you hear? So Rov Rishonim say there's no issue. רוב ראשונים say that there's no איסור, ועיין בברכי יוסף, חידה, ולהרמב"ן, פשיטא דמת גוי מותר בהנאה. Remember, Ramban said, יהודים. So this is really, so the יסוד ההיתר is, maybe it's שלא כדרך, yes. Maybe it's not mamash flesh, but the gui is the biggest hotel. The minute you reduce it from the right now, comes Chacham Ovadia, listen, this is two good friends. Comes Chacham Ovadia and has now two more teshuvot, long, very long. And he says, but there is a mitzvah of burying the body. There's a mitzvah of burying the body.
Even a goy
In full or in?
It says in Tanakh, it will bury even. So he begins by saying, is there an obligation, chas v'shalom, if someone's leg is amputated? You have to bury it or not? He brings many that say yes. I mean, I have a relative in Toronto, he had an operation, and then his leg was in, no, but Saka is doing it as part of the entire body. This is a case really happened. In Toronto, the leg was removed because he had the severe sugar. The kids shipped it to Yerushalayim. He already purchased his grave
In his plot.
was buried in his plot.
That sounds nasty.
But they bury every part of the body, even if that's
No. Say, Chas v'shalom, if someone is killed, of course you have to bury the entire body. We talk now. I took now a cornea out of it. Okay, so the Maaseh. Tomorrow I'll tell you why, but it says it's some brilliant. It says not here in the next Shuvah, it's brilliant. That's what it says. Here it is, the Gemara says that the baby that Eliyahu and Elisha revived, after they were revived, are not metameh anymore. How did the tumah evaporate? It says if you take a dead and you make him alive, he's not dead anymore. So the mitzvah to bury is a dead body. The minute you take the cornea and you install it, it's alive. It's not a mat anymore.
No longer dead.
So Mama Jonah,
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good day, Rabbi.
When he was dead, he was dead. He was tameh. How did the tumah go? But the fact that he was revived, but the body tameh. איך ירדה הטומאה ממנו? אומרת הגמרא, because he was revived, there's not a mat anymore. Right. So he said the mitzvah of burying is a dead organ. The organ is not dead anymore. The organ is alive.
So the Kohen can do the transplant?
What?
Kohen to do the transplant?
I mean, this is part of the tshuva.